Have you ever had a piece of advertising speak to you? Was it a beautiful work of illustration, maybe the photo, or was it a combination of colors that brought you to a stop? I doubt it was from that large product photo, or the many lines of copy that describe what this amazing product did, or how this service can change your life. Creating an effective ad that motivates people to act with a response has three main qualities: authenticity, solid design, and simplicity. And we're going to review all three of these in this class. So let's learn what makes great ads. In my 12 plus years as a freelance designer, I've developed campaigns for clients that span multiple advertising platforms. There's one thing I constantly battle with my clients on, and that's the amount of copy they want to include in their ad. It is always way too much. I would ask them to cut. Some small print was necessary, but a large part of the campaign was tarnished because of the overwhelming amount of messages they were wanting to communicate on this tiny little ad space. So how effective is this ad? How effective is it now? Clean, simple messaging is so important to increasing the effectiveness of your ad. We live in a cluttered, information-heavy world and are constantly barraged by advertising messages that fall short of promises. It may seem obvious, but the last thing we need is more information to break down and digest. So making our ads have one clear message wins every time. In our subconscious, we desire the simple, already digested data. I strive to keep main headlines under 2 phrases or sentences, with a few exceptions. It should be easy to find and pair well with other visuals that may exist in the ad. Using high contrast colors helps to bring out headlines. You can use stark whites with strong blacks. In some cases, strong blacks with subtle grays can have another impact, but can easily be understood and seen with a simple, clean presentation. Headlines should drive the call to action and not be a separate thought. Headlines and photos can work together in an ad, and they don't have to be treated as separate elements. Photos that play with the headlines are always a treat visually, and maybe even emotionally. Think of headlines not so much as headlines, but our main idea, thought, or motivator. Thinking of it that way changes the way we write our copy. Copywriting is at the heart of every effective advertisement. Good copywriters know when to stop. They know how to say more with a lower word count, and they know how to write copy that seems authentic and relational to its target audience. Sometimes the best headlines or main ideas for an ad are thought up within seconds. If you're spending more than 10 minutes coming up with your main headline thought, phrase, or idea, you are thinking way too hard. It should come naturally. Sometimes the most simple thoughts can end up being the most effective. Your product or service's USP, or unique selling proposition, is an incredibly valuable asset that most product or services do not have. If your product or service is the top of its field, the fastest, the strongest, or has the most potential, you cannot ignore this in your advertising. Not everyone has an obvious unique selling point or proposition, so it's your job to create one. This is where it becomes critical that the marketing team developing the ad has some connection with the business operations side of things. Have a dialogue with other people on your team, even if that team is just yourself. Ask yourself and/or your team to discuss the possibility of making a unique selling proposition to help angle and sell your product to your target audience. A proper advertising campaign cannot exist without the involvement of the operations side, the people who are involved in pricing, placement, product design, or even customer service. Maybe your unique selling proposition exists in the customer service side. Well, they need to be involved in your campaign, even if it's only being available to answer your questions to help craft your copy. How is your customer service the best? If your ad overpromises and the company underdelivers, you disappoint customers and they will make it known on social media with negative reviews. Matching expectations with reality is the thing that is missed by most ads today. You may get the viewer to your landing page, but in the end, missing the mark on expectations can do more damage than good, so be careful. I started out my career in graphic design, and I continue to practice that discipline in advertising. Design not only brings a piece of advertising together as one beautifully crafted unit, but it helps communicate complicated information in the most simple way. An event poster full of important information can be made relevant and enticing and provide detailed information that would otherwise seem very overwhelming. Our font choices communicates everything in design. Some fonts seem angry if they're all caps, while lowercase seems more inviting and softer. Angled text leaves us intrigued and makes us stop, even for a moment, which in advertising is all we need is a moment. Colors communicate a broad range of emotions. Warm colors excite happiness, anger, strength. Cooler colors communicate calmness, trust, and serenity. The overall layout in an advertisement is critical in managing which items are seen first and which comes out as the most important. As mentioned before, our headlines and call to action work together, and because we are intentional with our layout design, we can make sure the viewer knows it. Photos can make someone stop in their tracks. The copy and the photo work together to provide a deeply emotional reaction. Photos can change the entire emotional direction of an ad, and it's no wonder some of the most effective ad campaigns use photos as their main attraction. Modern advertising uses colorful illustrations and custom hand lettering to soften their ads, so they seem more approachable and function as art rather than just another piece of advertising. Thinking about the design as a whole, layout, photos, color, type treatments is an essential part of ad building. Most of the time, ad copy is written and then sent to a graphic designer for the finishing touches. Try something a little different. Involve the designer in at a much earlier stage in the ad creation journey. A designer will add valuable input as what works and what does not, even when it comes to copywriting. They know what is too long of an ad copy for certain ad space. They know what color scheme does not match your intended emotion you want to create for the ad. Involve them as a critical member in the success of your ad campaign. Simplicity is at the heart of a successful ad campaign. They say every pixel or inch of an ad is valuable space. We are paying good money for these spaces, but that does not mean you have to fill every pixel or inch with information, copy, or photos. Simple campaigns can be powerful with the use of just typography or a photo with a small headline. Short phrases can work beautifully on large posters or spaces. One photo may work better than many. Or maybe no photo at all. Sometimes even how we spend our ad budgets can be simple. What if we focus just on a Facebook campaign focused around a certain time frame? Not only can we focus on a few simple, well-crafted and effective ads, we can find out what works best and tweak it. Simplicity goes into our copy creation as well. Rarely do you come up with that golden idea or campaign theme on the 100th idea. So many times it comes back to the first few ideas. Why is this? Because there was a thought first. They were simple. They were easy to recall. Do you think someone will connect with something that is hard to come up with? No, because you only have a few seconds to connect with them, and they only have a few seconds to connect with what you come up with. We try to come up with these clever themes or phrases, but I think it's to the detriment of our viewers. The last thing we need is another clever pun. What people really need is openness and authenticity. They want to see an ad that is fully aware of its culture, surroundings, and placement. So many PR disasters have happened because of poor placement of a clever or provocative ad. If our target market is 20-something females who are college-bound, then please seek the opinion of a 20-something female who is also college-bound. They can phrase things in ways we're not aware of because we may have never been in their situation. I think large ad agencies and in-house marketing departments make this mistake all the time. They think they're hitting their target market with their company by the right placement, but their ad copy is off, their mood is off, their photo might be off, maybe the colors. True authenticity can only come from the target market itself. You can get this through research or directly involving them. They are your customer, right? You should have close contact with them, right? Seek their opinion. I see a missed opportunity when it comes to show authenticity when people use stock photography. With small budgets, sometimes that may be all you can afford, but sometimes a photo you take yourself on your iPhone may seem more authentic than a highly polished product shot. Think about Instagram. How many people are making huge sales on ads that seem like they were put together in minutes? Because it's not about looking like $1 million company. It's about being real, authentic, genuine, and relatable. That is how you sell today. We need to pay special attention to where our ad campaign will run. An Instagram ad will be written differently than a Facebook ad. So make sure when you're creating your next ad that being authentic is at the top of your list.